You know how I used to have that towel right here? Forget that. Too much effort. So, what I did today was pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. I told you last night what I was going to do. And I did it. I freaking did it. I woke up and I was like, dude, it's on. And then that montage started where I'm like putting on everything. I'm like, yeah. And it's pretty brutal. And so I put on my entire like outfit except for my cloak. And then I'm like, yo, Car, you ready? And Car's like, Rum. I'm like, yeah. So get in the car, jet up there, and I get to the Ren Fair. I'm like, yo, this is amazing. There are people here. There are chicks in corsets and tails. You know, I mean, whatever. Fashion choices is what I'm talking about. So I get there and I'm like, oh man, this is awesome. And I start walking around. So I see everything, like maybe once. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Nice. So I start hanging out, and the plan was that my friends would meet me there around 11 or so. Ends up, they were both like, you know what's a great idea? Not doing that. So they flaked out on me. Pretty brutal about that, but whatever. I still love them. Yeah. So I was completely alone for the whole time. So, I mean, it was okay. It was just the mindset was a bit different, because instead of like, oh, I'm going to look at this stuff with my friends, it was like, I need to meet new people and talk and have fun. You know, instead of just standing around alone and looking like a loser because you're alone. It's not wrong to be alone. It is wrong to be ashamed of being alone. That made sense. Think about it. So, I ended up going to this armor store, and I ended up just talking to this dude, and we're like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And he's a really cool guy. And so I ended up buying some of his stuff, and it really added to my suit, and it's really cool. And the other reason I bought it was because he's such a cool guy, and he had such a good philosophy on the whole thing. Plus, it's like lifetime warranty. So, it was a win-win for me. But, I mean, I also lost money, but it's okay, because I was okay with it. And, oh, man. These two girls walk up to me after I get, like, the extra armor. And these two girls, and they weren't exactly, like, really hot, right? But they came up to me, alright? I respect that. I'll totally just be like, hey, what's up? And they come up and they're like, hey, can we take a picture with you? Oh, sure. And then they're like, yeah, our friends are having a competition to see who can find their knight in shining armor, and you're the closest one. I was like, oh, I am flattered. Thank you so much. Sure. Oh, picture time, yeah. And it was like, dude, that is so cool. Like, that is so cool. Like, I don't know. I've always kind of wanted to be that guy, you know? And for like a split second, I was that guy. It felt really good, and it made me so happy. And I also saw this little kid. This dude was like 8. He was going so hard. He had a little foam sword, he had a little hat, and he was dressed up as Link from The Legend of Zelda. And so it wasn't like a super pro costume, but he was like, yeah. And I walk by and I see him, and I was like, I can't pass this up. So I walk up, and like my costume was derived from Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. So it was initially a Link costume, and you could still see it, and you're like, it's a Link costume, but he doesn't have the hat, but it's like, it's still, yeah, totally, sure. So I walk up to this kid, and I'm like, dude, what are you dressed up as? And he's like, Mom? Link? Link! I'm like, pretty good costume. He's like, what are you dressed up as? I mean, nothing. Link. Whatever. It's like, are you Super Link? I was like, oh my gosh, this kid. So I was like, I had to control my rising tears so I could be like, dude, your costume's way cooler than mine. Just saying. Stay sweet. I didn't actually do that, but then I like went away, and his mom was like, that's so cool, you got to meet Big Link, and he was like, wow, and it was like, I can't believe that I'm actually capable of adding to people's lives like that. It's just such a twist, because it's like I'm seeing the other side of the fence now. Like, I was a little kid growing up, and I always saw that older guy, and he was always like the cool one, and then I'm looking back over and there's this little kid. He's like, "Yeah, you're Super Link," and it's like, frick. So I don't know. It's odd. It's a wake up call. It's a change of perspective, if you will. Aside from that, I just went to some going away party for one of my good friends and took pictures of axes. So, yeah, decent day. I'm gonna write on my to-do list and possibly do something else and probably go watch a movie. Tomorrow's gonna be a busy day, so I gotta get on it. You have a fantastic day, Mr. Fox. You're not a fox. Probably not. Fox probably wouldn't have internet connection. But have a wonderful day. I am rooting for you. I'm on your team. We're buddies, you and me. And we should hang out sometime. Alright, good night, guys.